Welcome to the bold analysis. The Gen Z protest gave this country, Kenya, a different perspective when there is a political discourse in this country. And for quite some time, the members of parliament have been trying to ask themselves, whenever there is a bill in parliament or whenever there is a government agenda, the first things that MPs do ask themselves is, do Gen Z agree with it? And from the events of June 25th and June 18th, this country had to change for the legislators and the government to realize that they must be in conformity with the Gen Z. Morara Kebaso, who has emerged from of course, after that protest, as one of the leaders, one of the local leaders on Kenyan Home, or rather the Gen Z movement, has revealed a statement, has issued a statement, and is saying that on Friday, the public participation to impeach the deputy president is calling on the Gen Z to occupy all spaces.
Fellow Kenyans, our message is simple. What is good for the head is good for the neck. 2 is better than 1. We want both Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto impeached, because whatever Rigathi Gachagua has done, William Ruto has done it 10 times, if not 100 times. And this is what we are telling our members of parliament. You refuse to listen to us on the finance bill. This time round, act wisely. I'm urging all Kenyans in every part and corner of Kenya, tembelea mbunge wenu. Hata kama amejificha Nairobi, make sure mtembelee kwake. Tell them that our message is simple. We want that impeachment motion rectified, because haina shida, iko tu na Kasmuel clerical error. We want 2 names on that impeachment motion, and that is the name of Rigathi Gachagua together with his boss William Ruto. They came as a package, they are going to leave as a package together. Therefore, tomorrow, as they do public participation in different counties, make sure you turn up and your voice should be heard loud and clear that the hashtag is impeach both. I will be at the KICC tomorrow very early in the morning. In fact, mimi ndo nitafungua mkutano. I'll be there in the morning at KICC to make our voice heard, to speak on my behalf and on the behalf of people who believe that both of these leaders are failed Kenyans. And after that, I'll be headed to the Milimani Law Courts, where a ruling will be delivered on my case, which I'm being witch hunted. Otherwise, kesho tuko site. Make sure you reserve enough energy, carry packed lunch. This is not a demonstration. So police, do not overreact, do not misbehave, don't provoke us, don't turn a peaceful public participation into a demonstration. This is me urging you to act wisely. I want to sympathize with the comrades of Moi University, where some students have been shot by police. I stand with you, the comrades of Moi University, and we are going to do something very serious about the situation at Moi University. I'm also aware that you lost 1,500 acres of your land, which was given on a purported lease to a private developer. We are going to revisit as I come for the relaunch tours for the Rift Valley this weekend. Thank you, and see you tomorrow, pale kwa site, kwa ground, anywhere in Kenya where you will be, where public participation will be happening. Don't forget, impeach them both. And if they don't do it, msijali, sisi ndio dawa ya wabunge. What is the work of the syringe? It is to inject. We are going for Occupy Parliament Season 2. If they do not listen to our voice the same way they didn't listen to the finance bill, we are going for Occupy Parliament Season 2. So don't waste your energy. Make sure you preserve it for the grand finale of Occupy Parliament Season 2. Thank you and God bless.
By saying impeach both. Something that if you're a communicator, if you're a political observer, you'll realize that the leadership of the Gen Z is not coming out to say we support Rigathi Gachagua impeachment. Instead of denouncing directly, they are saying impeach both. And you will agree with me that Gen Z is not boarding all shenanigans around the deputy president impeachment. I may be wrong in this, but you can also make your observations in this. The two main accusations against the deputy president. One is the fact that he was running tribal government that is isolating or the politics of segregation under the Mulema issue. And so the people that were moving it believed, because Gen Zs have said they're tribeless, they would actually spit some hate on the deputy president because Rigathi Gachagua was actually running a segregation politics. And the second one was about corruption. The criminal charges on the deputy president were believed to be some of the things that if they are put in that impeachment, they would attract condemnation from the Gen Z so that Gen Zs can actually board that impeachment. I am in Siaya. I was talking to one of retired KDF, very good friend of this channel, and I asked him a question, Joshua. Why is it that the deputy president, why is it that Morara Kebaso was arrested on the eve of Rigathi impeachment? And he told me straight in the face that, Kevin, I got this straight to say the government wanted to test waters with Kebaso, because from what Kebaso is doing, it seems there's some forces behind it, and because the Kebaso is the force behind Gen Z, they believe that Kebaso and Gachagua are one and the same thing. President handlers goofed on linking Rigathi Gachagua with the Gen Z protest. I want to play for you a soundbite of this leader. He's from Mount Kenya and was part of that Gen Z movement, was speaking in High Court yesterday on the issue of impeachment. And I want you to hear his statement.
Hawa ni wana youth. These are the youth of this country. 2 months ago, tulikuwa kwa street kama Gen Z, tukipigania good governance. The graves of the young people are scattered in this country. Some of our parents are still mourning their loved ones. Mzazi alete mtoto university, huo mtoto saizi au kwa kaburi. Hakukufa bure, alikufa akipigania uongozi bora. So ni aibu kubwa sana ati leo hii bunge wanaenda kuimpeach deputy president ati kwa sababu aligonga meza, one of the partners in crime. Na ule mtu ambaye alifanya hawa watoto wote wauliwe anastahili kuwa kwa kiti kweli? Senator alisema vizuri sana, akasema we impeach President Ruto, we get Gachagua for free, and that is our stand for Kenya. Kenya tulikuwa tunaenda kwa street to make sure the entire Kenya Kwisha regime goes home, including all the ministers. Lakini waache kuchezea wa Kenya akili ati shida ilikuwa ni Gachagua ati kwa sababu amegonga meza. Gachagua amegonga meza wanafunzi 14,000 hii Sunday niliona kwa Standard front page hawajaingia university, na hao wanafunzi najua wametoka jamii za watu maskini because of the new funding model. We have a very insensitive man as the president of this Republic of Kenya, mtu ambayo at this time and era atituko na abductions zinafanywa, watu wanakuwa tortured, some people are being sodomized in their own country, a country that has constitution. Watu wanakuwa sodomized just because they have said we cannot be ruled like animals. I want to say this to the Kenya Kwisha regime. As the young people in our times, we will be ruled by integrity and accountability. We are ready to pay the price, whatever the price. And I want to tell William Samoei Ruto like this. Asidhani the storm imeisha. It is just the beginning. The hopelessness of these young people in this country will come to haunt him. And we want to tell him he can do whatever he wants. He can amaze all the world. But we will not even leave him after 2027 after we take him to Sugoi. We will go back to all who he has done. Hii mambo yote amefanya itamfuata mpaka kwa kaburi. He should have the heart of a parent. Yeye ako na watoto. William Samoei Ruto ako na watoto. Leo hii ni Ruto akue amekatakatwa, ako kwa damu anatolewa. Kama mzazi anaweza sikia namna gani? Hao ni watoto wa Kenya. Saa hizi Charlene Ruto akue abducted for 1 month na hapatikani. Yeye kama mzazi atasikiaje? Ajiweke kwa viatu za Wakenya, yale mambo ambayo anafanyia Wakenya. And we want to tell him that his time is coming. The gods, the Kenyans, everybody is on our side, because we are standing for the just and the just and the just for Kenyans.
Outrightly. Now, from that video, you will agree with me that the Gen Zs, despite the fact that the government had been trying to move around it, but it is not really boarding. So from that you can see that they are not buying into that discussion of Gen Z, of that discussion about impeaching the deputy president. And another video I want you to hear is Kasmuel Makoure. I believe Kasmuel Makoure is one of the faces of Gen Z movement. So when you see Kasmuel speaking, you see the voice of Gen Z. Kasmuel is saying directly here that, and is veering off from the deputy president impeachment, is saying the president have more urgent pressing issues to address and not the deputy president impeachment.
You know, it has been rumored that the president's children are not his actual children. I have always struggled to believe that rumor, but now it is starting to sound true in my head. Because I don't understand how a president can be at peace while 21 children, 21 young boys were burnt in a dome. He did not even care to attend that funeral. All the president did was order people to gazette that flags be flown at half-mast, that he was busy in a foreign land trying to address world leaders, while in his own country, 21 children lost their lives. Is it true that Nick is his son? Because he should be right about our age, if not a few years older. What empathy, as Madris asked, that men and young men and women of this country were shot down. They did not die of a protest. They were killed by police that he commands. And he has done nothing to date to ensure that the families receive justice, any sort of compensation for people who were in hospital, any sort of reprieve or justice for those families. I am beginning to doubt his parenthood. I am beginning to doubt his empathy and his humanity. This whole hustler narrative that he has always driven, when he tries to impose something as devilish, as inconsiderate as SHIF, under that social health authority that he has forced everyone to register on. How do they determine how much a boda rider pays? How do they determine how much a cow owner pays? What if my cow is not used for dairy? What if it is a bull? What if it was a gift? These people do not care for the Kenyans, and that's what we are saying for the political class. Their time is up. And we will do it together as the youth, and we will mobilize like never before. We will not be divided along tribal lines. We will not be divided along the lines of class as they always have done. And we are saying that we are now draining the swamp. We've said we are coming together to ensure that we look for justice for the people. Just the other day, a young man was sodomized in the county of Mombasa, Bruce. While we know that there is a law that if you feel that someone has insulted you or offended you, you can take them to court. But no, that administration has chosen to sodomize young boys. Now they've used guns, they've used the economy, they've used health, they've used lack of education, and now they're using penetration.
So Kasmuel Makoure is telling the president directly that he is a bit not sensitive to what really the devils or what exactly is affecting this country. Let me tell you, there is something I've just gotten to, I just want us to just tweak our minds a bit. Kenya Kwanza administration believed, after fumbling on who really funded Gen Z protests, they settled on the deputy president. They first said it was Uhuru, they said it was Raila, then it was Russia, then it was Ford Foundation, and finally the gun was loaded on the deputy president, Gachagua. And by that time, probably they thought they were framing the DP in the corner, or they were trying to create grounds for this impeachment. But I think they goofed on that end, because the moment the Gen Zs realized that government is running a spin narrative on their movement by linking the deputy president, Gachagua, on it, that is where they lost it. And as we speak, the biggest tremor that William Ruto will face in his bid to remove his deputy is the trend of the Gen Z movement rejecting Rigathi impeachment. And outrightly, what the Gen Zs are saying is two things. Rigathi is not one of the problems affecting this country. But two, don't impeach Rigathi, all of you are supposed to go. So in fact, if he successfully impeaches Rigathi, things are going to be tough. The MPs have been asking about what are Gen Zs saying. And as public participation starts tomorrow, on Friday, it will be held on Friday. And I saw a petition by Rigathi in High Court is saying that the time frame for public participation is less. And really, and I really agree with him. You cannot slot public participation for one day and you feel that will be enough. It will not be possible because of different dynamics. I think they should have gazetted, because on the weight of the matter, they should have gazetted more days. So the Deputy President has argued on that line. So as public participation starts, one of the things the ears of MPs is about what are Gen Z saying. And MPs must ask themselves how the Deputy President impeachment is going, whether it answers questions that Gen Z movement raised. If they cannot get answers to that question, then I'm telling you without fear of contradiction that a strong Gen Z position against the Deputy President impeachment is going to throw Ruto back to drawing board. There have been attempts to try to, and of course one of the accusations is that Rigathi has funded Gen Zs. And I like the response Rigathi has given. Rigathi have said, how powerful, where was the intelligence when I was doing all this? The Gen Z movement was spontaneous and they raised pertinent issues on finance bill. And of course, the Gen Z supported, Rigathi Gachagua supported that Gen Z outrage because he had warned the president that the finance bill is unpopular. But the president decided to defy and moved on with that bill. So I want to tell you, what is the danger that William Ruto will find himself in if the Gen Z decides to reject Rigathi impeachment? I can tell you this is very critical. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. Thank you very much for your support towards Baby Becky medical bill. And I would just want to share with you a snippet of what we did. We managed to visit and give a check of 200,000 to the father, Brother Michael Kamau, who is now in the process of discharging Baby Becky from Kenyatta Hospital. So by Friday, that is tomorrow, or on this Friday, the baby will be out of hospital and to be put under home-based care. Now, what do you expect? I've seen that form of public participation and it looks, I agree with the Kuro Court, it looks like some ballot paper. If you look at questions that have been put there and petitions that have been put there, it's very key. Just allow me say something on public participation. I said, I've been saying several times in this video, in this channel, that we need to have a legislative framework on what exactly the framers of 2010 Constitution envisioned by public participation. Because, for example, what is going to happen? MPs are supposed to conduct public participation in all the 290 constituencies. I am currently in Alenga Usonga in Siaya. And I spent better part of my day in Siaya town. I'm not seeing any sign, and in fact, I'm not seeing any sign of people reacting or even signs of public participation will be there. And in fact, I believe a public participation should actually be street referendum on bills, so that it should have two objectives. One, what do the public want? Just like it's normally done when you want to construct a project. Whether that land is safe, is it public land, do they want it there, what about it, do they want the hospital or they want the school when public participation is there? Now, on this public participation, it should come clear to the framers and the movers of this bill that they should take that opportunity to listen to the ground. Not, but if they decide to stage manage public participation, because that's what normally is done, people get, MPs get some few people to sign the forms, they get their relatives and their cronies and their campaigners, sit in a corner, say yes sir, sign, then you take that form and say what the people have said. Now, we realized even during the vetting of cabinet members, there was a Kenyan who had a petition against Murkomen, because Murkomen allegedly harassed her, and she even broke her hips and was actually hospitalized and could not get support from Murkomen, because that incident happened in the run-up to last 2022 general election. But that petition did not get anywhere. So the framers must also, and I think that's what the deputy president should do. If I'm the think tank, I'm his advisors, he should ensure that he amplifies public participation. Let him amplify let him hijack the public participation, because Kenyans are unhappy with it. There are things Kenyans are saying. His social media team must work tirelessly to get footages of what Kenyans are saying in different parts of the country. They should get what someone is saying in Kisumu, make that video go viral, get what someone is saying in Central Kenya, get what someone is saying in Nairobi, get something from Busia, from all the 47 counties, so that you can saturate the social media and be able to shape the narrative. Very clear, and it's very easy to shape that narrative. Kenyans reject Rigathi impeachment. For you to do that, you must go viral, because I have been looking the number of court cases. Today, the deputy president was in court trying to forestall the public participation on his impeachment, and the court have declined to give conservatory orders and are saying, despite the fact that the case was certified as urgent, they're saying the impeachment has to go on and they will reverse it so that the petitioners should go to court on 9th October, which shall be past the date that is set. So I'm not seeing even the courts are not so friendly, because one of the things that would have happened will be the courts to stall. But of course, sometimes they're also just within the confines of the Constitution. Now, what is the danger of Gen Z rejecting Rigathi impeachment? This is what I'm seeing. The Gen Zs can adopt Rigathi axis in 2027. I've been saying here that Kalonzo Musyoka and Raila Odinga had a very clean check on June 25th to overturn tables and build a political euphoria with the Gen Z protests. They had that opportunity. Kalonzo Musyoka decided to play the Kalonzo Musyoka decided to sit in the fence, not seem to be, of course, opposing in press briefings, in rallies, but did not come out to endear himself to Gen Z. Raila Odinga, who could also take that opportunity to endear himself to the people, decided to go to bed with the oppressor. So, now, the Gen Zs have one candidate, known as Morara, that has come out now and is saying he wants to seek for presidency. But they still have options. If Rigathi comes out to speak about abductions, to speak about the things that Gen Zs are raising, and then he's knocked out and says, I have been knocked out simply because I was also raising or amplifying the issues that you Kenyans are raising, then Gen Zs have a leeway of adopting Rigathi axis. And Rigathi axis, I mean, might not be Rigathi is on the ballot, but Rigathi might decide to form a political coalition or be part of a larger coalition, and that coalition would have the blessings of Gen Z. Because if the Gen Zs are saying the enemy is Ruto, so everyone that will declare Ruto the enemy will easily befriend the Gen Zs. And that is one thing, because with that, then it means Rigathi will get the political mass behind him. With the political mass behind him, even if he resigns and decides to tilt the scales in 2027, we might have one of the most contentious contests in 2027. The second issue is MPs will start becoming insecure. I listened to the day on Tuesday when they were, after the motion was moved in the National Assembly, Farah Maalim, Kimani Chungwa, Junet Mohammed raised some issues on security of the president and the security of those MPs. And so I was wondering this now, if MPs are feeling insecure of that impeachment, then who is this threat? Is the threat police or president or who? The people. Okay? Now, if the Gen Z rejects this impeachment, you will see a number of MPs pulling out. Because the MPs might be in the position of making mistakes they did last time. They were told, we don't want this finance bill. We're told this finance bill is oppressive. We're told this and that. Now, they're being told Adani is bad. Transition from from NHF to SHA has failed. The funding model for university is a flop. Now I've seen it has been stopped. It's not working. You know, that's one thing that Ruto piloted, tried forcing through and even calling all manner of town hall meetings to explain himself, but that thing has failed. So, the MPs will look at what the people are saying, and if Gen Zs reject, they will have no option but to tell Ruto in the face that while we want to make you happy, we want to do it because we want to make you happy, but it is not safe on our end. The other issue is they can charge the country. They can charge the country. If impeachment erupts into some protest, then Ruto shall have by default returned the country to a protest like that was witnessed in the month of June and early July. And that will be a big blunder on him. The other two things that will not be achieved with this bill is the diversion and the anticipated unity. There's some things, the two things that are also in all this. Ruto wants to divert the country from the other things because there's so many things that are not working. Even that shift is a concern. So Ruto wants to divert attention of people. And the other thing, he wants the country to unite against the deputy president. Now, the other generation are not going to do it. The other generation are not going to take up and accept that impeachment if they decide, because they want to achieve that unity. But if they reject it, then the country will not be united against the deputy president, because the country knows, Kenya have internet penetration that is very high. So many young people are learned. They've gone up to university, they don't have jobs. But in terms of literacy level, I think in East Africa, even in Africa, if ranking is done, we cannot fall short of top 10 or even top 5. So this country, people know. Na venye Rigathi usema watu si wajinga, watu wanajua. Now, that is going to give us a very good, interesting bit of this. So they must wait. Let's wait and see if Morara, Kebasu and Marco Uru will be able to marshal their teams to give William Ruto a difficult ride. Then it is a matter that really must worry those who are in it. Thank you.
Sorry, Becky. Nasema?
Nilikuwa nauliza about the station, nasema na vizuri.
Anatoa. Sasa lakini sasa ndio maana tunatumia pampers ana hiyo control ya nini, so hata kuambia
anti-convulsants.
Yeah, that's she's on anti-convulsant drugs. They are convulsions. So hata ni jana I was talking to the doctor, the head doctor ule ana hiyo neurology ward. Niambia at least because now she's not having convulsions, she'll continue taking them for 2 years, lakini wataanza unaenda kama na reduce because they are very sensitive. You can't take always wachisha kama Panadol ati unaacha siku moja, ukiwacha zinarudi, so ina monitor alafu Afterwards, after 2 years of monitoring without convulsions, now they can take her off.
Lakini akatumia
Lakini tenda akipunguza. Already now they are working because she has not had a convulsions from December. Wakati nakwambia alikuwa unconscious nilikuwa mild, lakini tangu wakati huo hajakuwa na convulsions.
Hi guys, so thank you very much to Bolt, we are in Kenyatta. So we have already handed over the 200,000 cash to Ronald. Ronald is here. Ronald is the father to Baba Becky, and so Ronald will acknowledge and also tell us atatoa Becky lini, because now that part is the only one who knows. So karibu sana.
Thank you very much to yourself and the team. Really appreciate the support that has come through your efforts. And, I'm Ronald Michael Kamau, that's my name, Mabeki, and we're hoping to get Becky home by Friday. God willing, now that we're able to sort 1-2 things, and we'll definitely inform you, and you come and do a follow-up. Yeah, you're welcome to our home to come and see the progress. You have seen her, the jovial girl, and once she goes home, she's then going to be happy. And you have me to thank and the support of so many other people who have come to us. Really appreciate.
So how much have you received?
I've received 200,000.
Yes,
from the Bold Initiative.
Maybe Michael, tell us something about Baby Becky. Why Friday? You know, some people might ask.
Okay. Yeah. So there's quite a bit of process. Yeah.